Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning from here, from down under and Australia. My name is Pete Omotosho, and I'll be your host today. And thank you for joining us as usual on this particular session, the Disciplined Agile Meetup. So this is where we show up every single month to bring amazing people to really talk to us as a community. And today we have another special guest to come and talk to us. Thank you for joining Nice and Haley as well. I've got quite a number of community members that has joined us by way of just calling out a couple of people to thank you. Just a snapshot because I can go through everybody, obviously. Godwin, thank you for joining very early. Godwin Christian from Port Harcourt, thank you so much. PMI chapter Port Harcourt, Chigoze as well from Lagos, Nigeria. I've got Pala, our presenter today, joining from Texas. That's from the USA. Thanks you for making time. Ebeye, that's Samuel Ebeye from Lagos. I've got Lena from Canada. Thank you so much. Ade, oh, Songo Soya, that's our amazing Ade from Texas. We have Kim from Benin. Ghana, that's Samuel from Ghana. And of course, I can go on and go on and go on. Jennifer, thank you for joining from South Africa. Ebenezer from Gabon. Ivy from Ghana. LA from Kenya. I can keep on. Oh, Jerry, thank you for joining all the way from Budapest. Budapest, yeah, that is really good. We've got Darius from Kenya as well. Ageji from FCT, that's Abuja, Nigeria, and Abiona from Abuja. I think I can keep going now. There's a lot of people here from all over the place where our community lies. Not forgetting Brenda from Uganda, Atsin, thank you for joining all the way from Netherlands. Joel from Kigali, that's my second home. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll come back to you, Jean from Rwanda, Lusaka Chitula, thank you for joining again. Thank you. Really appreciate you all for joining Nice and Harry. Now we can see the tentacles of the community is spreading
Good
far
evening.
and far and wide. Thank you, Wachi Milu. Thank you. I'm just doing a couple of starting right now. If everybody can be on mute, that will be nice. We will give opportunity for people to speak at some point if we need to. All right, let's go straight. Let me first of all check if you can see my screen. My screen is visible. Thumbs up if that is the case. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Please, if you are not muted, it will be nice if you can mute yourself. That would be great. All right, beautiful. I believe we will start by the introduction for of the community and also introduce our amazing guest today. I have someone who has been working behind the scene to do that honors. Anakin, I believe you are here. If you can just quickly, please, introduce the community.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. And was a discipline, African discipline, Agile all about? So we are a dynamic community championing the true value of project management, leadership, empowering emerging technology, lean and agile practices. Our mission is to empower professionals and organizations across Africa who wants to strengthen their capability in agile and lean frameworks and translating them into measurable results. We actively promote continuous knowledge transfer in project management, leadership, emerging technologies, lean startup, and other lean agile practices. Our focus areas are agile, project management, emerging technologies. And African Discipline Agile is brought to you by Peace Laurent Consulting. you can reach us on the www.peterlaurenconsulting.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, and one other thing I'll add to that is we are also an authorized training partner with PMI, which means for your training requirements, reach out, or we'll be able to look after you. I would say watch out, especially if you're joining from Africa, watch out for something amazing coming at the last quarter of this year. So we're planning something for you. All right, beautiful. Also, we will definitely need to now introduce our amazing speaker today. Okay, um, Palak is someone I respect so much. So to do the honors, I will bring Babajide to do that for us.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever we're joining from. All right, our speaker today is a project business professional dedicated to demystifying value-driven practices and human-centered leadership. With a background in biomedical engineering, engineering change management, and certifications including PMP and PBP, she brings more than a decade of global experience across pharma, medtech, and regulated industries. As a PMI Programs LNL Director and PMP in Practice Coach, she empowers project professionals to navigate complexity with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Our work centers on integrating value management, systems thinking, and emerging AI capabilities to strengthen decision-making and accelerate business impact. She is also the founder of PMP in Practice and Biosphere Coaching and Consulting LLC, where she equips aspiring project professionals and organizations to elevate value management and lead with intention. Outside of her professional work, she enjoys spending quality time with her family, raising two daughters, and bringing creativity to life through learning, community building, and meaningful experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming with a round of applause, Palak Shah.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. Digital round of applause for Palak. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Babajide, for doing the honors. I will quickly mention this as well. Please, we will have Q&A at some point later on. So if you have any questions during the presentation, put it in the chat. We will definitely be looking at the chat. Thank you so much. Palak, over to you.
Thank you so much, Pete. Thank you, everyone. That was a really warm introduction. So thanks again. Again, I would like to welcome all of you to today's session. It's my absolute pleasure to present today at this discipline Agile Meetup. So when they were doing the introduction about the discipline Agile Meetup, there were three focus areas: Agile, project management, and the advanced technology. That's exactly what I'll be covering today, all three focus areas. So I'm very happy about that it's pretty much aligned to discipline Agile Meetups focus. Okay, let me do magic to share my screen, okay?
Let's go ahead.
Almost there. Yeah, the advanced technology, right?
Beautiful. It's coming up.
That's coming up, just maximizing it.
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Yep, we can see it nice and clear. Thank you.
Okay, great, everyone. Thank you for confirming, Pete. So yeah, we are going to explore one of the most important shifts happening in our profession. How we will define the value how we are going to measure the value, and how are we going to maximize it across predictive, agile, and hybrid environments. So today's topic is about value management in modern project delivery. All right. So before we get started, I would like to have an icebreaker question here, that what does value mean to you? And so everyone, if you can put your answer in the chat box, what does value mean to you? Okay. Yeah, I see the answers coming up. Value means something worthwhile, positive increment to anything. Yes, something beneficial, sure. The importance, worth. Great, great, everyone. Yeah, cost quality trade-off. Value means result, satisfaction, outcome. Yeah, that was a good one, Pete. Not just the output, but more focused on the outcome. And I'll be covering that point. Yes. All right, perfect. Thank you, everyone, for answering that. The second question, what makes project modern? So just two questions we are covering from the title right there, value management in modern project delivery. So you guys answered about what does value mean to you, and now what makes project modern? Yeah, take your time to think about it, and we'll be covering that as we go through the presentation. Project is modern when it aligns with current trends. Yeah, good, Daniel. Application and usage of digital tools to deliver, use of technology like AI. Yes, AI transformation coming up with more project management AI workflows that we need to implement. Project evolves and follow trends, aligning with modern trends. Yes. Yeah, again. Yeah, we'll touch base as we'll cover in the presentation more slides. Okay. And with that, thank you everyone for your answers there. I want to make sure I'm able to go to the next slide here. Okay, here we go. So yeah, again, I would like to have a very brief intro here from my end. So myself, I would love I enjoy turning complexity into clarity, not just in the project management, but on a day-to-day life that, many things that we need to handle, right? So one project at a time, okay? So currently I am a Mercer Intelligence Lab expert. So just 2 days ago, Mercer reached out to me for the survey and feedback in project management domain. About the different AI workflows in the project management, comparing two workflows, which one creates more value. So there were about like 6 different workflows and comparing two against each other and figuring out what creates more value. And of course, I kept the PMI more framework. So if you are more of PMI person, you might have heard about the MORE, the more framework, managing the perception, owning the success, reassessing relentlessly, and R stands for good, MORE. So yeah, I'll come back to that. It's more of the outcomes. Okay. All right. So, and yes, I'm more passionate about demystifying AI and change management overall. Also, I'm a PMP and practice coach with the VoiceSphere LLC, where I really focus on the value management in modern project delivery. Okay. And with PMI, the last chapter programs Lunch and Learn series. If you haven't attended any, I welcome you to join our many sessions offered by our PMI the last chapter. All right. And yes, also I'm a proud mother of 2 daughters. So that's where it really reminds me about how impact that I give to the people that I serve. Okay, yeah. Yes, overall, that about me. So let's continue. So what will be our journey for today's session? So there will be 2 units and 5 levels. So what you will walk away with, the first one is the foundations of the value-centric delivery. The foundation project delivery evolution from checklist to heart-centered impact. And the second is the systems thinking, navigating disruptions and stakeholder expectations, where we need to manage the priority management based on the value as well. All right. The second unit is more focused on the strategic value realization and leadership. There are 3 segments of it: the value across the spectrum, predictive, agile, and hybrid frameworks. The other part is the AI-augmented decision-making and benefits realization. And at last, shift from output to outcome, leading with intention. So it's more about the leadership at the end. We will cover the output to outcome from the beginning too. Okay, so by the end, you will be able to align delivery with outcomes that matter across any methodology. Okay, so the first, the foundation, how project delivery has evolved, the shift PMBOK it brings, and how systems thinking helps us navigate disruptions and value prioritization. The unit 2 more into the strategic value across the methodologies, AI-augmented decisions making, and ultimately how we shift our identity from output managers to outcome leaders. All right, and yeah, I also have a demo to show you from my voice sphere course that I'm developing. That's very interactive, so it will really help you to understand more of the value in modern project delivery. Okay, and also in addition to that, your learning outcome will be how to define value for modern project era, then how to apply value, and especially what are the measures that you can take. And the third, leveraging AI as a decision partner. So not a replacement for your judgment. AI is like your co-worker. All right. All right. With that, we'll move on to the next slide. So here we'll go over the foundation of the project delivery evaluation. So from technical checklist to heart-centered impact. So here, as you see, we are just covering the last 3 PMBOK versions. The PMBOK 6, that was more of process groups and knowledge areas. It was containing 5 process groups, 10 knowledge areas, 49 processes. It was very rigid, do the steps, check the boxes. And so the next one, PMBOK 7, was more focused on principles and performance domains. Okay, and of course, they had updated the 12 principles, 8 performance domains, and shift from perspective to adaptive. That was a better approach. But again, they recently revised PMBOK again, Project Management Body of Knowledge, to the 8th edition, and it is more value-centric outcome delivery. Okay, and here they updated the definition of the project as well. So I'm coming back to our icebreaker questions and I'll be answering those right here. Okay, so what makes project modern, right? So as per PMBOK 8, the updated definition of the project, that project is a temporary initiative in a unique context undertaken to create value. Okay, so PMI also has focused more on the value, creating value, right? Not just the outputs. All right. And the other question we did in icebreaker was, what is value? So it is more focused on the outcome, not just output. And I have that covered on the next slide too. But yes, this value-centric outcome delivery is more about the systems thinking, tailoring, and benefits realization at the center of every decision. Okay, so for an example, a hospital implements an EHR, electronic health record system. So output is just to deploy a software, okay? But the outcome should be something like that. Nurses who will need to spend 40% less time on paperwork. Okay, so that's the difference between output and outcome. So what will be the impact that patient, it will provide better patient care and staff retention. And here, when we are focusing on the value and impact, we need to measure all three, not just the output to have the software deployed, but more onto the hours that nurse will need to spend, how better we can provide patient care and the staff retention. All right. So question here just to ponder. We don't have to like answer in the chat box. Something that you can ponder, that in your last project, what was the outcome you aimed for and what did you measure? Okay, so it's something that you can reflect from your last project. All right, so yes, and also the output is what we build. Like if we are deploying a software, that's what we'll build, right? And outcome will be the change that we create, all right, the impact that we make. All right, so it's a lasting value delivered. So next slide here, this is the important one. It covers the systems thinking and how we can manage any disruption and stakeholder expectations. So when disruption hits one node, the whole system must pivot. So in traditional approach, it's very rigid. It's a linear process. And so it can break any disruptions if it is not flexible or resilient, right? In Agile or hybrid, we will cover that how flexible it is and it can still deliver the value. All right. So here you can see the first one, the disruption wave, then systems thinking as per Pambokate, and then stakeholder expectations. So disruption wave, it's more about the AI, regulations, hybrid teams, global supply chains, or the list can go on. There could be any disruption that unexpectedly happened, right? The rigid execution breaks, the agile resilience bends and recovers. Okay. The systems thinking that projects are not silos. A shift in market conditions ripples. Adjust check, recalibrate customer feedback, feedback loops, and rescore the value. So the example of that systems thinking is that, like, if we consider an infrastructure project in Lagos. So many people are here from that area, right? Lagos. So we are thinking about that example of Lagos infrastructure. So if regulatory changes and if it's bringing the delay, okay, suddenly the construction firm renegotiates the timelines, right? Suppliers revise material costs, community stakeholders demand revised benefit timelines. So as a project manager who sees this as a system, responds strategically, okay, not just delaying one task. All right, so here value is pursued through the it's not just focused on a frontline worker, okay, value reducing admin burden, but a community values jobs created, okay, aligning your success criteria to all of that. So value is a more of like a social construct, and if you can align it early, then you can deliver it better. Okay. So I hope that Lagos infrastructure, you are, I'm not like much familiar about that. If you have visited that in person and you are from that area, you can relate it. Okay, so the definition of the value here, the value equation, that value equals to outcomes that matter divided by effort invested. And of course, there are many other considerations, and I'll cover that in my other slide. But basically, the purpose is to increase the outcome, the numerator, and minimize the efforts invested or the other resources. Okay, but of course, it takes more consideration about the tangible and intangible outcomes too. All right, so if you are aware, that's great. What tangible and intangible is. Tangible is more of something that we can measure, and intangible is more of like the skill development, knowledge transfer, and so on. Okay, so in high disruption environment, linear planning fails, but if we apply the systems thinking to sustain value, and we can handle any complexity that will strike. All right. The next slide about all methodologies that are just vehicles, but value is the destination. Okay, so value across the spectrum, all three methodologies, predictive, agile, and hybrid. So most of you might be already aware the definitions of those three methods. The predictive is waterfall or linear. So shipping the deliverable is the goal, but the real value lives in the impact that follows delivery. Okay, so as per the modern project management, the benefits realization begins after go live. Okay, not just meeting the go live timeline. Build your realization plan before you close the project, right? How end users are benefited from it. The next method, agile. So we all are mostly aware about the velocity, how many average story points are covered in one sprint. Okay, but that velocity, if we are just able to finish those assigned story points within that sprint, that doesn't really give us the value. Okay, the story points are not business outcomes. Every sprint goal must map to a strategic benefit. Okay, so the tip there is run value-focused retrospectives, not just process reviews. And you can ask a question, what value did we protect or create this sprint? Okay. The last one is the hybrid combination of both predictive and agile. The most powerful approach for complex global projects, fix what needs governing and be flexible what needs adapting. Okay, so how the question, the open-ended question, the better questions that you ask, you can better plan, right? So how matters less than the why. Select the method that maximizes value delivery for this context. All right, and we can go over more examples too here. And I personally did 10 plus years of experience in pharma and medical devices, right? So pharma with Johnson and Johnson, and in medical device sector of Becton Dickinson. Okay, so in my pharma projects, there was a hybrid advantage. We use predictive for regulatory submissions. Okay, so FDA doesn't accept, then we'll figure it out in a sprint. But in Agile, for the software layer of clinical trial management, that's a hybrid in action. All right. So a lot to share, especially about the SAP implementation that I did with the Becton Dickinson. It was the global cross-functional SAP implementation for research and development team. And basically, I was the subject matter expert there for the overall global training. So it was not just the output that we were focused on, that, okay, we just need to train these people, but we were also considering the outcome of how many user errors that we can reduce, and the end users, the system should be more user friendly to end users, and they should be well trained and have satisfaction using that new system in a day-to-day basis. Okay, so you can ponder on your current projects that how many of you are running the hybrid projects right now, and what's the hardest part? What is the hardest part that you are facing, like governing the predictive portion or maintaining agile resilience approach, right? Okay. The next here is the AI-augmented decision-making and benefits realization. So AI is just the decision partner, but you are still the leader, of course, right? So we need to filter complexity, turn out complexity into clear simplicity. So AI surfaces signal from noise, showing the high value path through competing priorities. Yeah. The second one, stakeholder sentiment. Now, new AI tools, they can also scan meeting notes, surveys, and feedback and detect alignment gaps before they become crisis. So that's a really wonderful outcome. I would say if we can gather that stakeholder sentiment, we can better manage that, right? Then predicting benefit decay. Machine learning models forecast when benefits are at risk, enabling early intervention, not post-mortem. So it's more of the proactive management than being reactive when any crisis happens. Okay, and also more of the enhancing the opportunities, the positive risk, okay, the uncertain events, the more positive side of the project that can benefit not just the project, but the organization, overall business value. Okay. Then dynamic reprioritization. AI re-ranks your backlog as conditions shift. You stay focused on highest value work. There is another technique that we'll cover about the reprioritization. Okay, and there might be many other tools nowadays, right, for backlog refinement, or how to calculate your values for each of those tasks, and based on that, you can reprioritize. Yeah, so AI realization, here's an example that AI detected a 12% shift in stakeholder sentiment and adjusting metrics now to preserve long-time return on investment. All right, so here the 3 steps. First, define what's really needed, what your goal is. Okay, isolate the strategic goal, filter the noise. And that is the biggest initiation step, right? What does done well look like for each stakeholder? Okay, if we miss that, then we don't have that much clarity. All right, so define the North Star, what's the strategic goal, stay focused on that to maintain it throughout your project milestones. Second, measure value shifts. So replace iron triangle, key performance index, with value realization indicators. Track impact at every milestone. Okay. And the third one is orchestrate global impact. So AI augmented insights make your framework scalable from local project to cross-border programs. So here overall the benefits realization journey, the 3 steps that we covered, right? Defining your strategic goal, to have clear intent, clear measurement, then measuring value shifts, not just tasks completed, but outcomes in progress. Okay, and there might be now more AI automated dashboards that can help you to measure that. And the third one, orchestrating global impact, is your value management framework, scales from one project to an enterprise portfolio. Okay, so key points here, that benefits don't realize themselves. It's like a seed. They need intentional management, resources, monitoring, and leadership, commitment to grow. Okay. So, and again, the important thing is that AI augments human judgment, but we still need to have empathy, ethics, and stakeholder trust. And of course, it's something irreplaceable. Okay. All right. So how are we doing so far? Good.
Yep, all good so far. So far, good. So good. Really, really good. Good
Perfect.
information so far. Thank you so much, Paula.
All right. To continue.
Yes,
All right.
please.
Thanks for.
There are a couple of questions which we will deal with at the end of the session, actually. Yep.
Okay, sure. Let's continue for now, and we'll address them during the Q&A. All right. So the Merker lab that I'm currently working with, so it's AI augmented project management. It's more of more focused on the enhancing the project management field, right? Not just the framework tools that we are using. So, and that way we can spend more time on the outcome and just reducing other tedious jobs. So shifting from output to outcome and leading with intention, especially for leaders, they can spend more time on the other valuable work. So here strategy is the compass and intention is the engine, okay? So traditional output metrics were how many percent a task are completed, the budget variance, the schedule, it's the cost performance index and schedule performance index. So yeah, there was also earned value management. So if you're already PMP certified, you will be very familiar with that. I could go on and on with all the details here, but I kept it general here. But on value management, it will still kind of measure the timeline, cost, whether the project is behind or ahead of the timeline. If schedule performance index is positive, that means it's ahead of timeline. If it's negative, it's behind the timeline. Cost performance index is, if it's positive, it's over budget. If it's negative, it's under. Is the other way. If it's positive, it's under budget, and if it's negative, it's over budget, right? But those were just like a traditional output metrics. It can sure help, but it's not really calculating the other impact. And yeah, defect count, how many defects are there? Those were managed traditionally. But now in modern projects, the outcome metrics is more important. So we do benefits realized versus plan. So we measure that against what was planned. The stakeholder value score, now that is very important one. Okay, basically getting continuous feedback and adapting as per that what's really required and what is value focused. Adoption and utilization rate, okay, and the strategic alignment index. All right. So here, yes, most project managers are excellent at the traditional metrics, but here the challenge is to track the outcome, not just instead of what was covered traditionally, but in addition to what's really needed. Okay. So here we can take an example of a government digital services. And that was one project that I coached. So traditional metrics were all green, on time, on budget, and 6 months post delivery. All disruptions start coming in. 30% of citizens using the platform versus an 80% target. So they measured outputs but not outcomes. So here we need to consider the benefits realization plan and run targeted adoption campaigns. So within 3 months, we could reach the utilization hit to 68%. So here systems thinking, if we take that into perspective, value is the gear at the center of your project system, okay? So when your value definition is clear and shared, everything aligns. It will align your team decisions, stakeholder communications, risk responses, and resource allocation. But when value is not clear, every gear spins in a different direction and you get noise, not project progress. Okay, so that's where leading with intention really comes into play. The shift from managing tasks to orchestrating outcomes is a leadership identity shift. It requires courage to say the plan is done, but the value isn't. Okay, so we really need to stay value focused. All right. So yeah, I think here, again, it covers about the systems thinking view, that value is the core gear here. So when it turns, it synchronizes everything, the stakeholders, processes, tools, culture, decisions, all those really play their key roles, right? So all together, they will bring high impact system. Okay. And traditionally, we already covered, they are more focused on this task completion and all, but in modern projects, it's more about the benefits realization and strategic alignment. All right. So yeah, we kind of understood, and I'll show you the demo as well, but how we can really apply that in our projects. And we can immediately start applying that. You might have been already doing valuable work. It's just about realizing that, uh, you know, how it is actually cultivated and how you can show it, exhibit that to your team, to your sponsor, your manager, okay, your value work that you have been doing. All right, so your value mapping toolkit. And so trace every activity, their benefits, their strategic outcome, and kill tasks with no value linkages. Okay, so it's more of the priority management based on the value, benefits realization, and strategic alignment. Okay, so take your one current project and trace every work stream to a benefit. If you can't make the connection, ask right questions, whether the work belongs in scope. If not, yeah, it says that kill task with no value linkage. All right. All right, just making sure that we are doing well with the time. Okay, perfect. To continue, yes, this is the one I was saying for the prioritization technique, WSJF, weighted shortest job first. So that means that have your user value plus your time criticality plus risk reduction. And that all together, when added together, you divide it by job size, how many efforts, resources that you are inputting there. Okay, that's how you calculate weighted shortest job first. And I know sometimes everything becomes priority, right? So that's where you really go over the highest value. Okay. The benefit seed, every benefit needs an owner, a baseline, a target, a review date, and plan it at initiation. The early that you can plan, of course, you can have the better outcome. Okay, so benefit doesn't grow by itself. You really need to plan it intentionally. Okay, following all this, the owner, baseline, target, and review date. The next one is the continuous feedback loops. In your next project, if you're into agile projects or when you are doing your retrospective, you can add one question: what value did we protect, or how that created the sprint? Okay, and see how it conversation brings more value added points, right? So yes, and also, did this sprint protect or grow stakeholder value? All right, the next one is AI decisions lens. Use AI tools to surface sentiment shifts, predict benefit decay, and re-rank your backlog dynamically. So you don't need enterprise AI to start. To like the Copilot or Claude or project analytics dashboards that can surface patterns you will miss niche manually. Okay. And here, the most important one, that intent before action. Before every major decision, which outcome does this protect or advance? If you can't answer, pause, reassess as per that more framework, and find out your intention, your goal. Okay, what outcome does this serve? And if your answer is not clear, you need more alignment before you put it into action. That would really save rework later on. Okay. Yes, so there are more frameworks and tools that we are developing at our VoiceSphere. And yeah, I mean, if anyone would like to share your experience with the value mapping, the benefit seeds, something that you are currently applying at your current projects, yeah, feel free to unmute yourself and we can take one or two experience sharing on that. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the questions in the chat box. Yeah, and we'll wait till the end anyway. But anyone else who would like to share how you are value mapping currently in your projects? I'm
If
sure you
you
all are. Yes, yes.
if you have a comment, you can start by raising your hand up just to answer that question. Um, if there's anyone, you can also use a chat box. Happy to do that. All right.
Sure.
Unwa Chimelo, you've got your hands up. Can you please unmute and I hear your comment.
Okay, my name is Martin Melo, and I've been listening to what she has said, and I think it's an interesting topic, and she's doing justice to it. Thank you, Palak. Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I think how do one? I have this project that it's an enterprise project, but the client actually doesn't. I can't describe actually what he actually wanted, but I'm trying to. How do you get value? How do you help a client actually understand how to put up what he wants? For example, he wants to run an app that will host other landing pages so people can do something on his app on his website, but he can't explain it very well. So after having a meeting with him, I'm trying to see how we can bring out his requirements or where we can start. So how do you do value mapping?
Yes, yes, yeah. Thank you for your feedback and the questions. Yeah, we'll have a Q&A session at the end. I just wanted to hear more about the experience, how you are doing the value mapping currently in your projects. But yes, the first is defining the value in your current projects, right? The impact that you can make, how well it is aligned with this organizational strategy. It's more focused on the outcome, not just what you are delivering, and it can go beyond your go live or the recent delivery, how it's impacting the customers, the end users, and how well they are satisfied, right? And so that's about it. But yeah, thank you so much. That was value added. So we can continue to the next slide here. And this is a very important one, again, continuing on the value mapping framework. So I wanted to know any of yours experience here. Especially from the leadership perspective, we need to align these 5 pillars to activate high impact project leadership. Okay, so here we covered the foundation. Okay, now we are just bringing it all together. And the value mapping framework with these 5 pillars. The first one is strategy alignment. Okay, so every project must trace to an organizational goal. All right. The systems thinking is to see your project as a living interconnected system. The value matrix is measuring what really matters, not just what's easy to count, right? Then AI-augmented is use AI to see clearer picture, the complete picture, and decide smarter. And you can adapt faster too. All right. And the fifth one, leadership intention, move from reflexive action to purposeful direction. Okay, so when all these 5 are activated, you don't just manage projects, you orchestrate the impact, right? So that's where you are really equipped to defining value as per just a general thing for any project, for any context, define your value. Then apply that value management across the method that you are using, predictive or hybrid delivery. Okay, and leverage AI as a strategic partner, not a replacement for leadership. All right, so the value mapping framework brings the standards, coaching, and practice all together, and you can have a measurable value. Start with intention. That is the very first point. If you are very clear about your goal, your intentions, then if you do action, it will avoid unnecessary rework, and you can deliver more outcomes, the impact, and then it will be more sustainable. The benefits realization can have a long run impact. Okay. And from local projects to global scalable program delivery. Okay. It's not just for localized project delivery, but the overall program level or at portfolio level. So the project doesn't end at completion. It ends when the benefits are realized and the mission is achieved. All right. And here comes the next one. The leading with intention, just going more into in detail about clarifying your intention, especially in your leadership role, transforming your delivery from standard outputs to high impact outcomes. All right. So 5 things you can do this week. Define what value means for one current project and write it down. Okay. Identify your benefits owner or appoint one today. Okay. Add a value impact column to your risk log. Run one value focused retrospective or team check-in. All right. And then, yeah, I'm also developing more courses on this value management in modern project delivery, and I'll be showing you the demo. So we'll stay connected there and we'll keep learning and keep growing together. All right. So with that, yeah, I'll start my demo here. Okay. So Pete, if you can confirm, you can see my screen about
Yes.
shift from output to outcome.
Yes, I can say shift from output to outcome. Yep.
Perfect. So here in our modern era, value isn't measured by completed tasks. True leadership focuses on the strategic impact that your project delivers to the organization. So how do we visualize this shift from outputs to outcomes? So outputs are just like writing code, updating logs, and all other tasks that you need to just get it done. But when value is created, that's the outcome. Projects aren't about just finishing tasks, they are about creating value. Okay. In advanced leadership, you also need to kind of use this value mapping framework, and there are 3 pointers here: the strategy, the pillars, strategy, execution, and value. Okay, so we really need to synchronize the strategy with the execution and the outcomes into a high impact framework. All right, if either one of this is missing, that means it's not really generating the value. So value is the core of the modern project delivery. All right, so all these 3 nodes we really need to align, and that will deliver the transition from managing tasks to realizing the benefits and harvesting the value. Okay. So strategy is the compass. Without clear intent, projects spin aimlessly. Okay. Strategy acts as your North Star. Aligning execution with actual value delivery is key. Okay, so it will keep spinning, but if you really define your strategic goal and if you stay focused on that, then you can have that stable and you can generate maximized value. So intention leads to predictable outcomes. All right. So here, execution is the engine. And so methods, the 3 methods that we discussed about, the predictive, hybrid, and agile, right? Those methods are just vehicles for value. So adjusting your delivery environment while keeping the destination constant. So we will need to harvest the maximized value, right? But you see the predictive is a very linear path. In hybrid, it's still combination of both, but in agile, it's more resilient. Okay, it's not as rigid as predictive. So we also need to have that empirical and iterative approach. Build in small functional increments to handle high uncertainty and rapid change. So if any of these nodes are impacted by uncertainty or disruptions, we should be able to sustain the project to deliver the value as our outcome. All right. So here's the question, which element remains constant across agile and predictive methods? So options are the project schedule, resource allocation, the intended value, and specific project task. So it's an easy one, as we all are talking about the value here. It is the intended value. Correct, yeah. All right. So yeah, I really like this one. I covered that in a slide, but I think it's more visualized that helps us to understand. The data-driven decisions require more than just visibility. Okay, we have lots of data, noise, and feedback, a lot's going on right in our modern projects. But if we use this AI-augmented lenses, we can clearly see here, right, how we can do the benefit realization. So that's where AI augmentation really helps. All right, it brings more clarity. So AI turns complex data into foresight. We can make better decisions. Sharper decision making. So PMBOK 8 emphasizes data-driven oversight. AI doesn't replace the leader, it clears the fog. So as you can see, the left side image is very fog and lots of guesswork, not much clarity there. But we are going to turn this raw data into actionable foresight. Okay, so AI turns this data into foresight. So if we stimulate, we can calculate the maximum value, how the risk management doing where it stands, and how many % of ROI we are targeting. Okay, so in hybrid environments, AI augmented decision models reduce waste by identifying value bottlenecks early in the life cycle. Okay, it's when we identify value, we can address other things that is needed. All right. So in the value mapping framework, AI maximizes project value.
That's good.
Yeah. Also benefits. It's maximizing project outcomes. Okay. These are just synonyms. Great. Next, the metric spectrum. So our leaders added their measurement lens. This slide to explore how metrics shift from flow to outcomes across the delivery spectrum. Okay, so if we start from Agile at the left end, here we see the flow is velocity, the story points that we covered per sprint, the average story point that team can handle, right? And then output is the sprint burn down. In Agile, they use the burn down chart, how many tasks are remaining, right? So Agile metrics prioritizes team flow and iterative progress. So those are the two components for the Agile. In hybrid, you will see more impact, the value realization, and you will see better customer satisfaction as outcome. All right. And on the predictive end, you will see more of the financial outcome, like the return on investment, ROI, And in schedule-wise, the critical path, if you are staying on time, you can deliver on time or under that. Okay, so predictive metrics focus on long-term stability and ROI. Great. Yeah, thanks for the feedback. Yeah, I really like those simulations too. It really helps to visualize what we are talking about. And this is my favorite one, leading with intention. So high impact leadership requires a bridge between purpose and process. Okay, so if we tap here at the head first, it's how how methodology. The brain manages technical delivery, leveraging agile, hybrid, or AI tools to execute the project efficiently. And if we tap the heart, as the impact unified. Okay, and is the why of the project, and that's answering the value. So not just how, not just the method how we are doing, it's more on the why side when we have the better intent defined, right? That will help us to run the project and deliver value. So leading with the heart ensures every effort aligns with the ultimate benefit realization, keeping the strategic vision, right? Staying aligned with the organizational strategic goals. So systems thinking view, we covered that systems thinking in slides, but here you can see more in visual running progress. So value isn't just an outcome, it's the core gear. So here is the central gear, right? So when value turns, it synchronizes your stakeholders, your all processes and tools into a single high impact system. So system and flow, so when friction occurs and when any gear detaches from value, systems thinking ensures that alignment across the delivery environment, right? So alignment is key here. So here's the question. What defines the core of PMBOK 8 project delivery? The software tool sets, value management, or project documentation? And I'm sure you are very clear as you have been hearing this word value management, benefits realization. Right. Realizing the benefit, delivering the project is just the step. According to the PMBOK, value must be actively nurtured to prevent benefit decay. All right, so outcome needs attention, right? So how we can nurture it, the outcome is going into value, and I think it was, yes, it's reaching to its maximum value, and depending on how we take care of it, it's just like a plant, right? So in the value mapping framework, the continuous feedback loops ensure outcomes are doing transition into sustained organizational benefits. All right, so here the synthesis module, aligning the core pillars of the value mapping framework to activate your high impact leadership vision. Okay, so strategic anchor is the business strategy. Then the data augmentation, that's where AI insights will help. And the delivery engine, hybrid delivery, it seems like it's delivering the highest impact. All right. Now the final milestone, leading the future. You are equipped with the foundation, how to lead with intention. So transforming your delivery from standard outputs to high impact outcomes using the value mapping frame will really help you to gain that value at the exponential rate. Okay. All right, so that's what I had, and we can talk about more examples too. It was just the demo I was doing, what I'm building up at my voice sphere coaching.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, that is really great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Palak, I'm not sure if you have a little or more thing to share, but that has been really great so far, so good. Yeah.
Great, great to hear. So yeah, we can take more questions first, and of course, if needed, more examples we can go over. But I think we covered um, the overview of it. I know it's a lot more into risk management and prioritization techniques, and a lot are there are so many tools
Yeah.
to get more value. But I think we understand what value is. Um, how we are managing the modern projects and the benefits realizations and value mapping framework.
Yeah, 100%, 100% Palak. It's been very informative. I would suggest that we go into questions because have quite a number of them and we just do answer each one briefly. But I just really want you to know, guys, because David, the PDU is going to come after we finish all this discussion. Just stay in on the call because we're going to come up with that very, very soon. Just stay on the call. Now, I saw your question, David. But let's go to the questions. I believe Ebenezer has been taking care of some of them. We may not be able to take all of them because of time, but we will do justice to that. But one thing I want to encourage everyone is we have Palak here. Please connect with Palak on LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Let's connect with each other because that is where we take our questions and discussions further or away from this so that we can continue to chat. So if you can definitely reach out after the session because we have limitation of time. That's one of the constraints we have with in sessions like this. Let me hand over to Ebenezer to take us through some of the questions that has come up during the session today so that we can do justice to some of them.
All right. Thanks so much, Pete. Once again, thank you so much, Palak, for that wonderful session. We have quite a number of questions that came in. And to start with, we had a question from Daniel who says, is value always measurable or is it always easy to measure value? I wouldn't
It's
know. Do you
not
want me to read out all of the questions or you want to take it one after the other?
I think we can take it one after the
One
other.
after the
So
other. Okay. All
yeah.
right. So is value always measurable or is it always easy to measure value?
Yeah, so we need to understand the definition of value and how we can harvest it, right? So we covered the 3 points: defining value, measuring it, and then basically putting into practice with the AI augmentation. So yeah, be clear with your intentions. Of course, stay aligned with your organizational strategic goals. Okay, that's the very first thing. Your objectives of the project should be really aligned to what organization really need, the business case, the overall the business benefits, right? Yeah, and it's not always easy to define value. Of course, you need all of the stakeholder alignments, all the customers' continuous feedback, the scope that scope creep might happen, and that's where you really need to keep checking your value, right? And continue using that tailored approach. All right, then that's where agile and hybrid methods really help. But again, you need to have that kind of value bar on the bottom that you can take any um, distractions or any other side that will come to break. You really don't want your linear project, the traditional projects, to break apart. You have that resilient approach.
That's correct. I'll quickly add one statement, and thank you, Palak. That was really excellent. I think that is also a good opportunity to relate to what Inwa Chimelu mentioned earlier on asked. Most of the time, organizations or clients or customers do not know what they want. So it is our job to help them, drive them towards what success means because they can explain, oh, this is what I want. But is that really what they want? That is where we need to now be able to define what value is by continuously engaging with them. Now, once you are able to drill something down, then you can say this is the definition of success. Don't forget the rate of change is high, which means when you start delivering, what happens? Things start changing and you begin to see new value and new value. However, if you continue to move your core post every time, you may not even get to that point at any point in time. All right. So you need to really have phases as well, depending on the delivery you are doing. So I just want to add that to what Palak mentioned. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Defining success criteria early on, that would really help.
Thank you
Good.
so much, Palak, and thanks so much, Pete, for that addition. So we have another question tolling that same line, which says, can one consider value as subjective or objective in nature? And then how do you undo value issues when it comes up with stakeholders?
Yeah, a great question. Thank you for bringing it. Yes, again, we need to have integrated approach, right? Considering all different perspectives, the stakeholders, different feedbacks, needs, and just come up with our own plan, the proactive that we can plan, and one-on-one that we can have that conversation with the stakeholder needs, and putting that together, the integration approach that will really address that.
Okay, thank you. Makes mention of the integration approach to actually having this workout for you to have an outcome. Thanks so much. One of the other questions we also got says, how do you quantify the strategic alignment index, especially in an organization that has no clear long-term strategy? So basically quantifying the strategic alignment index in organizations, I think Pete also mentioned that they are not even clear on what their long-term strategy is all about. So how do you quantify in that situation?
Yes, so if I go back to the strategic alignment, the metrics, there are different ways to handle it, right? But yeah, again, I would cover back to this modern outcomes metrics here. So benefits realized versus and comparing that against the plan, right? The stakeholder value score that we need to measure, the adoption and the utilization rate, and more of the strategic alignment index. So those are the main modern outcome metrics. If we follow that, and of course, we need to consider many perspectives into that. So based on that, we can really consider those things. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful. That's a very, very good one. I will also say that, you know, when there is no goal, when there's no strategic direction, what are we measuring against? I think some things are need, just like Palak mentioned, the modern outcome metrics is around measuring something that we want to get into. If you don't have that something, if you don't have that strategic plan, strategic direction, then something is amiss. So I think the help that organization needs first and foremost is to define what their strategic outcome is, or they are seeking, and then we can quantify alignment in terms of metrics, just to put it in black and white. Yep.
All right. Yeah. Thanks so much, Pete and Palak. And then the remaining set of questions relate to AI. So I would put them together so that we also save time. So how do you recommend implementing AI tools for an organization who may not even be providing the tool? And the question is stemming from the fact that, you would expect that care is necessary with sharing organizational information and then holding ourselves accountable to review the output so that we ensure it aligns with expectation. And then vis-a-vis that question is also another question from someone saying, what happens when your stakeholders want more than two AI tools at the same time on a project? How do you manage that expectation? And then the last one speaks to if we could list some of the important AI we could use as project managers, to enhance functions, performance, and even bring about value creation on projects. So I'm lumping them together so that you can just speak to them as you move on. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good question. Again, AI transformation is happening everywhere in all industries, right? It's not just the project management, and we really need to be accountable of what we are using from the security perspective as well. We don't want organizational data to shared outside. Again, AI is just a decisional partner, as we covered, right? It's not really replacing the project managers. In the down the road, yeah, it will definitely impact some of the high paying jobs. But again, it's really enhancing your performance, reducing your tedious work, and you can better focus on the important valuable work. So filtering that complexity and understanding the overall, you can have better recommended actions, right? So not just using so many AI tools, just stick to one we suggest, right? The Claude is a really good one nowadays. It basically covers many of the tasks if you know how to do the prompt engineering. Okay. So I think I answered that question, but if any part of that remain, yeah, feel free to repeat that.
All right. I'll just add something as well, just to support Palak in this one. I think Palak, you've done an amazing job in answering that question. But I also want to call our view to the fact that AI is an emerging technology as well. And so everybody, including myself, are on that path of really ongoing competence development. So I believe I just want to add to the fact that we need to continue to improve ourselves when it comes to artificial intelligence these days. All right, beautiful.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so very much, Pete. Thank you so much, Palak, for the responses. We've gotten so much. I think the part of it that you mentioned makes the most sense. It's an emerging technology. And like we said, we are still the leader at the end of the day. Thank you so much. Pete, over to you.
All right, we have about 10 more minutes, so I will go straight. I know people are asking that they want to ask more questions. Do we have ample time to ask more questions? Maybe I can take one from you, Chukuma, because we've not heard from you. Let me take one for you. Do you want to ask it verbally? If you so quickly unmute, and then we can ask a question, and immediately after that we will close our place. Okay, okay. Your question has been addressed. Thank you, Chikuma. Nwa Chimelo, you have your hands up. Is there something very important that we've not addressed that you want to mention, just to give you a chance?
There's something that was said at the beginning of of this webinar, where she said something about when actually benefit value realization or is post project after handover.
Yeah.
And I want to ask, most of the times our job ends at handover. You hand over, everyone is happy, you go home. Um, how do you make sure that the value is realized? Maybe after you've been paid off. Who pays for this service, or is it a service that you talk about maybe with the client after the whole thing, then you start talking about to make sure the value is realized? How do we go about it? Because I've been asking that question. You see, many projects are done, handed over. At the end of the day, nothing. You see that project, yes, there is handover, but value is not really, or benefit is not really realized.
Very good question. Thank you for bringing that again. So yeah, here we need to consider that, of course, we are not being paid just to deliver what's asked, right? When we are performing on our day-to-day work, of course, we really want to ensure that we are delivering that valuable work that is aligned with the um, organizational strategies, organizational business goals, and so on, and that you can just check with your manager, right? How it is impacting the overall business, and something it's about leading without authority. Okay, sometimes you don't have that designation, but you still are helping in the better decision making. Okay, and that's how you get promotion too. not just doing your tedious task that you just need to get it done. And you are not really done just for the sake of doing it, but just to look at beyond and see the actual value and impact that you are, because when you are gone, when you are out of the project, the work that you have done, it will be really rippling that effect.
Yeah. Good one. Good, very good one, Palak. Now, this is what I'm going to say in Wachimele. Let's look at real value. What does it mean? You have a car, you've gone to the mechanic, they have fixed your car. When is value realized? Is it when you pay that, oh, we've fixed your car, you pay? Is that when value is realized? Or when you now drive the car and you are going home and say, oh, that noise that you were hearing, that problem is no more there. You could see that the value is really realized when you drive the car. Now, going back to what Palak mentioned, all right, that more than projects, right? We are going beyond delivering at that point when you say close up, project close up. What happens after? And for example, PMI is spending a lot of time and effort on value realization, which comes after the project has been delivered. It's spending much time on the business case. What did business case promise? What's the promise of business case? And when is it realized? Of course, post-project most likely. And so what the life cycle of a project does not end when you close the project. The life cycle includes when you hand over to operations, when you hand over to business as usual, when you maintain the project at the end of the day. That's when you measure project realization. I hope that has actually adds some juice to this. And thank you, Patrick. I see that you
Yes,
mentioned
yes.
something.
Yeah, the car example was perfect to understand value realization.
So mention next month we'll be having a very, very good session. It's more about AI. AI won't replace you, but it will change what makes you valuable. All right. One of our well-respected friends of the community is coming over to talk about this. Is someone I respect so much. Is doing an amazing work in that space. You just really want to see what the future of AI will be and in its perspective. So please make it a date with us so that we can do justice to that. We're looking at with September 16th to have this session. So looking forward to meet with you. One thing that we have done today is also to connect with each other. Please connect with me as well. I believe by now you will have connected or send a connection request to Palak to take this discussion
Yes,
forward. Please, let's take this discussion forward from here.
yes,
Um,
happy to connect and hear from most of you. Okay.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So,
Great delivery, pilot.
Thank you, thank you.
all right, beautiful. Of course, this is the Meetup, Discipline Agile Meetup that we meet every single month. But I just really want, you know, also focus a little bit about the community. We are a community because we are a community. We support each other. So if there's someone that has something that you need in this community by way of interacting, please reach out to them, build a rapport, and let's take it forward because we are trying to build a good community here. One other thing is every video, every recording is saved for the community and I've shared the link earlier on. Okay. You will also receive an email after this session. Okay. Please, when you go to the YouTube channel, when you engage, you can also just subscribe because we see a lot of people just watching and not subscribing. So that we can measure and gauge how many people actually go beyond attending and looking at those resources for our statistical purpose. So when you get there, just subscribe to that. You'll receive an email in the next couple of days with this recording as well, and we will point you in the direction of where the YouTube channels is. We also have shared the social media handle. We share this on LinkedIn, and then we're getting better with other um, social media platform as well. So thank you so much for being here today. And I think this is where we're going to stop today. It's 6:29 here my time. That is 1
Last
in the
thing, yeah,
afternoon.
thank you again for having me. It was wonderful interacting with you all, and I'm sure you all benefited. And yeah, please connect with me on LinkedIn, subscribe to my newsletter, PMP in Practice, and you will hear more about my VoiceSphere products and the courses that I'm generating and my real world experience. And any questions, of course, I would love to continue chatting. All right.
Yeah, Palak, special thank you to you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We appreciate your knowledge that you've shared with us. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Again, over. I'm just
Thank you
sharing.
very much.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Thank you. Good delivery.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you so much.